Good morning, guys. I'm glad to have you guys here, and welcome to the show. You know what? I'm going to tell you what. About, I guess it was about 5 days ago, I had a haircut, and I go in, and I get the haircut that is the shortest one that they'll give me, but it'll go bald. This stuff grows so fast. I'm already bouncing back. I mean, it's only been like 5 days, and I'm going to need a haircut again pretty soon. It must have grown an eighth of an inch in the last 5 days. It grows so fast. Anyway, let's get right into it, and let's get started this morning. And let's take a look at what's going on in the world. I guess we better start the charts right here, and let's get right on to the United Kingdom, you know. I see these articles here. And constantly, I see them using this word Brexit. A no-deal Brexit will be catastrophic, you know. And I've seen so many of these articles. They keep using the word catastrophic in parentheses over and over and over again to monotony. But when you take a look at these articles, I haven't seen one yet that really explains the exact reasons why it would be catastrophic. And so I'm left wondering, I see catastrophic, but I'm left wondering, why is it catastrophic? I want them to explain to me the exact reasons in very good detail why it's so catastrophic. That's what I'd like them to do. Anyway, let's move on and let's talk about this right here. EU's warning, Brussels has forced Italy into a dead end. It'll never be able to repay its debts. And this is true. It's just a matter of time for Italy. Italy is in the same situation as Greece now at this point. But the problem is Italy is so much bigger, and their debt is so much more just completely out of control. It's one of the things that's going to spiral the European Union out of control, where it's going to fragment. The European Union is going to fragment. They're doing everything they can to try to hold the thing together right now at this point. They can see a hard Brexit as part of what could actually spiral the EU out of control. So yes, it could be catastrophic in the sense that it could spiral the rest of the EU out of control. But the problem with this is the whole EU is going to spiral out of control anyway. A little bit further down the road, even if they somehow delay a Brexit, or they it doesn't really matter what they do at this point. Can't they see that the EU is toppling? I mean, anybody with open eyes can see that it's falling apart. The whole thing's falling apart. The whole monetary unit's falling apart. And the reason why is, one of the things is, the people are tired of austerity. Now, to hold the EU together, if they really want to hold the EU together, they'll unleash the purse strings. They'll open up the purse of money creation. That's the best way to really hold the EU together. And what have they been doing? They've been closing the purse strings. Mario Draghi, he said, whatever it takes, right? And what he was talking about is releasing the money. Well, they're being tight. They're being tight, and the whole thing's going to... Now, it's too late. Once the European Union really starts to fragment, and this thing starts to roll downhill like a snowball, and everything starts to fall apart, then at that point, it's too late. You know, I mean, they might as well just forget it, you know, at that point. Let me open the charts a little bit right here. It's showing them all arguing, and down here in the lower corner, you know, them all arguing and fighting all the time over what they're going to do about Brexit. But the whole thing's coming to a head with Brexit very soon, March 29th. They're going to have to be facing leaving the European Union with a hard Brexit. And the thing is, if they try to delay it, or they try to stop it altogether, they're going to come up hard against 50% of the British population who voted for this, and they're going to be angered to the point of well, very angry. Let's put it this way, very, very angry indeed. Let's take a look now at Deutsche Bank. What we see with Deutsche Bank is she's down today 1.86%. Deutsche Bank's sneaking up on us, almost like a big predatory cat that's quietly moving through the woods, and he's creeping up on you, and he's going to pounce on you. That's what Deutsche Bank's doing. It's going to pounce on us out of nowhere. All of a sudden, one day, we're going to wake up, and it's going to be in all the newspapers on earth, Deutsche Bank is collapsing, and it's going to be a Lehman moment, because it's sneaking up on us. It's not going up. Look at this over the last 6 months. Just a steady decline. And we had a little bump that just happened recently. You see this little bump right here. But it's turning over now again, you can see. Now let's take a look here. We're going to get started with the regular stuff that I cover every day. And the first thing we're going to start with is Bitcoin. And Bitcoin, you know, has had a few falls in price. It's at 35.32. It had a fall yesterday in price of about $100 or so. And it's just barely holding its own in this environment that we're in right now, which is slightly deflationary. But it's also, there's sectors within the economy and within the financial system that are still slightly inflationary. But it's a balancing tightrope that they're trying to walk right now between inflation and deflation. And what's happening is they're trying to keep it a little bit on the deflationary side because they know they can't control inflation. Once inflation starts to run away on them, they know they can't control it. They're actually, in truth, they're more frightened of deflation than they are, inflation than they are deflation. Because they got tools they can fight deflation with. But they don't have any tools to fight inflation, especially when it starts to run away. And then it goes into a hyperinflation. So they're trying to walk this tightrope. And they're doing everything that they can to try to protect the dollar, to keep the dollar strong. This is what the Fed's been doing all along, is to protect the fiat currencies. And the other central banks around the world are following suit. They're doing everything they can do to protect their currency. This is why Mario Draghi, when he said whatever it takes, was only to a point that it didn't cause a hyperinflation. And he knows if he opens up the floodgates of money, it's going to lead to a hyperinflation. And so they're caught in the middle right now. They can't turn left and they can't turn right, so they're trying to kick the can down the road just as far as they possibly can. Now, let's take a look at cryptocurrency market capitalization. $118 billion. It fell off a little bit, and it's 52.9% Bitcoin dominance. And all the coins are down this morning a little bit. They're all showing signs of red. Let me see. Let me take a look. Where's Litecoin? Litecoin, $30, $30.81, and it's number 8 on the coin market cap today. I think Litecoin's going to be one coin that's going to be moving up in the coin market cap rankings. Now let's take a look at silver. Silver price today. She's up a penny. Wow. Yip-de-da. I don't think it's going too much of anywhere right now. It's following a very tight range in around 1560. And today is just going to be a do-nothing day, I think, for silver. It's going to go along in that range all day. Let's take a look at gold real quick. Gold is up $4.70, but boy, I'll tell you, look at the dipsy doodles in gold up and down today, showing quite a little bit of volatility in this tight, narrow range that it's in. $1,292 is roughly the center of that range, and we're running at $1,291.50 right now, up $4.70. Let's take a look at the oil prices today. For sweet light crude oil, the oil prices are starting to turn downwards just a little bit today. They're down 45 cents, almost 1% down today on the market. Let's take a look at the Dow. The Dow started down this morning, just started with a big swoosh down, but it's trying to recover right now. It's 118 points down. She's creeping her way back up again a little bit as the day progresses. We're going to have to watch. It's hard to tell which way it's going to go today, but I think she's going to end down today on the day, ultimately, but not down by a lot. That's how I think it's going to end, but I'm not exactly sure because it's a little bit, today is a little bit of a wishy-washy day. It's a little bit hard to tell which way she's going to turn. Let's take a look at bonds and rates today in the market. And we're not seeing a lot of movement in the bond market today, but we are seeing yields falling. across the board. Fallen about 1 basis point so far. On the 10-year, we're looking at 2.68%, and we're looking at it falling 0.13%. So it's fallen about what's that? 1.3 basis points on the day so far, and we're seeing this money inflows coming in. That's what you're seeing here with this. They're doing everything to support the dollar, so everybody is flocking into the dollar because the dollar is receiving the most support as being the strongest currency. And so everybody is flocking into the dollar, and this is what they want. They want everybody to flock into the dollar so the dollar holds strength, you know. So when they pull the leg out from underneath the table on the dollar, what's going to happen then is everybody's flocked into it, and it's going to bring down the entire world's economy. Swoosh, bang, collapse. Okay, this is where we're going with this. Anyway, the collapse is coming. And the reason why I tell you the collapse is coming is because it's a mathematical certainty. By what they've done is they've increased asset bubbles and everything. They've had a credit binge that's went on for years and years and years, and they've saturated the world with debt or credit. And this is what all the money is out there. All of the money out there is all debt. So it's a very unusual thing in my mind that the only way you can actually create money is by creating debt. And of course, the debt can never be repaired. The money is basically the whole world's basically getting right down to the nitty-gritty of it. The whole world's gone bankrupt. And they're just keeping it going by expanding credit. It's going to contract at a certain point. There's no way it can't contract. And the more of this pressure that gets on it, the more leverage this creates, the bigger the crack-up's going to be. You know, I was listening to somebody last night, and they were talking about this, and they actually said that that this whole crisis could get out of control to the proportion where it actually could kill us all. And a lot of people were sitting there, and they were probably listening to that, and they said to themselves, "Oh, that don't sound right," you know, that this could. But yes, if this thing, in a absolute worst case scenario, where the financial system absolutely melts down, just like a hot stick of butter if you put it in your oven, and it just melts down into a puddle. If we get a worst case scenario like that, they have basically, the powers that be have sabotaged us. They've sabotaged all of us. They've stabbed all of us in the back. They've created nuclear reactors that they have, because of their greed, because they get a lot of money. A nuclear reactor produces a tremendous amount of power, more so than coal-fired plants and more so than the normal types of energy production that we have. And that power can be sold for enormous amounts of money. And basically, it's like getting something for nothing. And so they can make an initial investment in a nuclear plant, and they can make a lot of money. And it's all about the money. And so they don't care about us. They don't care about safety concerns. They don't care that nuclear plants can melt down. It's all about the money. And they've put these nuclear plants all over the earth, here, there, and everywhere. Now, if we have a total financial meltdown and everything comes to a stop and we go into some sort of a Mad Max shift scenario where everything's craziness, who's going to take care of those nuclear power plants? If the guy that's supposed to run the nuclear power plant can't even get fuel for his car to get in there and turn the switches on and off. If the highways are all blocked with crazy people, you know what I mean, crazy people, I mean people that have suddenly, the cities can't support, the power grid goes down, everything just goes crazy, who's going to tend those nuclear power plants, I ask you? That's sabotaging humanity. Those things need constant maintenance. Or they do one thing they do if they do not receive constant maintenance. They do something called meltdown, where basically the reactor core turns into a giant blob of hot goo that's so hot, so intensely hot, it's like the sun, and it melts down into the earth. And it's called the China syndrome, and the reason why it's called the China syndrome, it just keeps melting down deeper and deeper, and as it melts down, it spews up radiation high into the air, high into the atmosphere. This is what Chernobyl did, the Chernobyl nuclear incident. But that's just one nuclear power plant. They've sprinkled them here, there, and everywhere, these idiots. Anyway, enough talk this morning. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you in the next show. Bye-bye, guys.